Welcome into DRF Daily, DRF Sports' brand new live stream. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're coming at you at 11 a.m. Eastern, breaking down some of the biggest games of the day in MLB, NBA, and NHL action. Granted, NBA and NHL, a little bit of a shorter shelf life as we're in the finals for both of those, but we have plenty of MLB action coming up for you for the rest of the summer. Today, we have a few MLB games on the docket. And then, of course, we got to break down NBA Finals Game 6 as the Warriors lead 3-2 in that series, and they look to finish it up on Boston's home court tonight. That's our featured free game of the day coming up in just a little bit. We'll recap yesterday's picks and then dive into today's picks. Yesterday, we went 1-2, a tough L to swallow in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1. I was all over under 6 goals, and I thought it was going to hit. Avalanche jumped out to a 3-1 lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then the Lightning clawed their way back to tie it at 3, force OT. Avalanche end up winning Game 1 in overtime 4-3, but because of those 7 goals, over 6 goals hit, and I was left with a losing 1-2 record. I will say we have 3 open bets still from yesterday's live stream. 3 player props were over Steph points, over Jordan Poole points, and under Jason Tatum points, which is a little counterintuitive considering what the pick is going to be a little bit later for Game 6 of the NBA Finals. So with all of that out of the way, just a friendly reminder, please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're watching this. Go ahead and hit follow for us. You can find us on Twitter at DRF_sports. And on Instagram, we're at DRF Sports, no underscore. And then just search DRF Sports on Facebook or YouTube, and Twitch, and we should pop up. And while you're on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. Get notified for all of our happenings, all of our latest expert insights and data, analytics, trends, everything like that. And you can follow along with all of our data and info over on drf.com as you see it ticking along the bottom, drf.com/sports. We have a brand new feature. We're really excited to launch it today on our website, our free game of the day. We've been making games free every day for the last few months, but now we have a specialized page that breaks it down and even more breaks it down more in depth. It shows you all the videos that pertain to that, all the articles that we've written, all of the podcasts, everything like that. So go ahead and check that out. Just click on the Game of the Day tab on drf.com/sports. Overall, we're 8-4. We're looking to add to that today as we break down some more MLB action. First up on the docket, Phillies going to the Nationals. They're playing at Nats Park. Nats plus 160. The total is set at 9.5. 7:05 first pitch. We're going to see Zach Wheeler going up against Washington's Patrick Corbin. Phillies come in 2-2 over their last 4. This is the first game of this series. And Washington, they come in on a 4-game losing streak. They just got swept by the defending World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves. Washington, they're at home, and they're 25-20 against the Phillies at home over the last 3 seasons. And that's kind of important because over the last 3 seasons, the Nationals have kind of been bad ever since winning the World Series. However, the Phillies haven't been great either. Looked like the Phillies put it all together with that huge win streak, huge kind of hot streak, I guess you could say, after firing manager Joe Girardi. But they may have cooled off a little bit coming into this one 2-2 over their last 4. They're sitting at 32-31 on the season. Zach Wheeler gets to start, like I mentioned, for the Phillies. He's sitting at 5-3 on the season with a 2.84 ERA. And then he's going up against Patrick Corbin, who was pivotal in the Nationals World Series run a few years ago, but now he's sitting at 3-8 on the season with a 6.65 ERA. Not to mention over the last 3, that ERA is even worse at 7.72. And this is a night game. And at night, he has an 8.03 ERA. So not great for Patrick Corbin, the National starter tonight. And also on top of that, Nationals have struggled this season against good defensive catchers. They can't manufacture runs. You can't steal. If you can't steal on the catcher, the Nationals just struggle to win. They struggle to score. And we'll keep this one quick. The Phillies are the far better team, currently minus 170 to win, and that is a certified gold star pick. Our power line likes the Phillies at minus all the way up to 291. So a lot of value you're getting on the Phillies at minus 170. Total set at 9.5. I'd lean the under there. I just don't see the Nationals run support just really isn't there. The Nationals average just 4.1 runs a game. They allow 5.7 runs per game. But I just don't see the Nationals holding up their end of the bargain to push the over 9.5. So the big time bet is Phillies minus 170 tonight against the Nationals in Nats Park. Get this series started with a win. Zach Wheeler taking on Patrick Corbin again. We're moving on from Phillies, Nats. We're going out to the West Coast. LA Angels taking on the Seattle Mariners. Mariners at home, plus 100 on the money line. Angels come into this one 29-35 overall. Mariners 28-35. Very similar records. It's a 10-10 Eastern first pitch, 7-10 local. It's the first game of a 5-game set. Angels come into this one after losing both to the Dodgers, and they lost 2 of 3 against the Mets in the series before that, and they're sitting at 1-4 over their last 5. So sputtering still are the Angels. Shohei Ohtani gets the start for Los Angeles tonight. Seattle 2-4 over their last 6. They're also sputtering coming into this one. George Kirby gets the start for the Mariners. Ohtani 4-4 on the season with a 3.64 ERA. Last 2, though, he struggled 1-2 with a 5.62 ERA. He started this season extremely hot, and he's cooled down, kind of back to the mean, back to the average there for Ohtani after a fire start to the season. And George Kirby is going to be getting the start on the other side. He's 1-1 this season with a 3.65 ERA, and the team is 4-3 in his 7 starts, while he's just 1-1. The team does have a winning record when he gets the start on the bump. And there's really not a lot in the history of these two playing each other that gives you the edge. Who has kind of, sometimes you find those teams, find those games where, I brought this up a couple of days ago, Yankees, Orioles. It seems like the Orioles always give the Yankees all they can handle, even when the Orioles are 2-100 in the season. This, you can't even get a read with historical data. They're 20-20 over the last 3 seasons. In Seattle, they're 43-43 against each other overall over the last 3 seasons. So nothing really there, but there's a few things in the betting angles in this one. So the Mariners have done really, really well against good pitching. And good pitching, we're going to describe as a starting pitcher who has an ERA less than 3.7. They are 40-19 straight up against American League pitchers who have a 3.7 ERA or better. Shohei Ohtani, like I mentioned, a 3.64 ERA. Angels, on the other hand, they struggle big time against good pitchers. So the edge might be on the Mariners a little bit. And I say that the edge is totally on the Mariners. It's a certified gold star pick. Give me Mariners plus 100. Our power line thinks Mariners more like minus 103. So if I can get Seattle on plus money, give that to me all day, twice on Sunday. Is that how the saying goes? I think it is. Give me Mariners. I'm believing in George Kirby. I think the skid continues for Los Angeles. I think Shohei Ohtani, he'll probably have a good start, but he can get hit. He's allowed 4 or more hits in 8 of his 10 starts this season. He's allowed some earned runs as of late. Not saying he's not a great pitcher. I mean, he's one of the best players in all of MLB. But in this case, I think George Kirby and the Mariners get the edge just a bit. Los Angeles' offense just isn't there. They're scoring just 4.3 runs per game. They allow 4.2. The question is, can the Mariners' bats come alive? Can George Kirby keep down Los Angeles? That's going to be the key, as the Mariners' offense has struggled early on in the season. But at plus money, there's a lot of value in this one. Give me Mariners plus 100. Moving on From that, we're going to our last MLB game of the day. It's going to be Guardians at Rockies. Cleveland comes into this one 31-27 on the season. They're heading to the Mile High City to face off against the 27-36 Colorado Rockies. First pitch slated for 3:10 Eastern. I forget which time zone the Colorado Rockies are in. Mountain time. I don't know if that's 2 hours behind Eastern. That might be 2 hours. So 3:10 p.m. Eastern, first pitch, an 11.5 total, 11.5 run total, which is just hilarious to me. I haven't seen one that high in a while, but I know it's Denver. I know it's Colorado. I know the thin air and balls travel and tends to be very high scoring. However, it is worth noting with that high total, Colorado, the Rockies have only covered the over in 54.5% of their games this season. Cleveland will be sending out Tristan McKenzie, while Colorado will be sending out Chad Kuhl. McKenzie's 3-4 this season with a 2.95 ERA. They're 6-4 when he starts. And I just like talking about the total because when it's Colorado, it is so high. It's so much fun just to see how often it hits. The over hits 4 of the 10 times that McKenzie has started. Kuhl, the starter for Colorado, he's 4-3 this season with a 3.7 ERA. And the overs hit 3 of his 11 starts. So I'm picking the game, but if we're going just based off of pure numbers, I'm leaning the under 11.5 in this one. Both teams average just a notch under 5 runs per game. And at 11.5, that just seems really high, even with the thin Denver air. So give me leaning under 11.5. Rockies, here's a really fun stat. Rockies draw 2.9 walks per game, so under 3. Guardians, 22-12 this season when they're facing a team that draws less than 3 walks. So with that being said, give me Guardians minus 130 in this one. Not a lot of value there, so if you want to parlay that with an under 11.5, it might boost up your value just a little bit. But I'm playing Guardians to win this game minus 130.